Now, another thing Satan teaches us to do is to deny our Maker and how we're made, right? And that we're in the reproductive form of God, right? See, the spiritual form is the hermaphrodite. That's why they're occasionally born, right? But that's because of the fall of the angels who sinned with Satan, right? Their sin was to leave heaven and come to earth after they had done been here, right? Too. And they became, metaphorically, angelic beings, right? See, we were supposed to do the same thing and go back into the celestial realm too one day, right? That way the earth can steadily be replenished by God, right? But what happened with the fall is they left their second estate, and yet it's their first estate too, right? See, when was the light created and the heavens and the earth, which was created first? The heavens, right? Right. So you got to create the sun before you can create the planet that revolve around the sun. You can't create it at the same time, right? Though you can start with the sun first, right? And then the planet can slowly form as the sun begins to solidify as well, but still one has to be terraformed, right? To sustain life, right? God's doing all that for us. Mm-hmm. And science shows that too. I know it does. But the problem is, men have gotten so religious, they sometimes forget to see in here, right? They want to do one or the other. Now, that's why sometimes science will be right and religion will be right. But then you're arguing about things, right? Some things you don't even want to see, like a hermaphrodite, right? That puts some men off, period, like Constantine and Peter. And they're rare too, right? They are a product of the fall, but it's not the child that sins, it's the parents who sin sometimes, right? To create the child. But it's not the child's fault any more than it's the parents' fault who had sex with an angel, or in a human form as well. Mm-hmm. So when it says they left their first estate, what do you think that means? They became human too. But they were a grown-up human, right? Who did not pass through a womb, right? Like we do. No. Right. That's why it's a greater sin. They're supposed to help us get into the celestial realm ourselves. Instead, they're being stalker-watcher type angels, coveting our sex drive. And in a way, confusing us sexually as well, because they expose us to obscure sex too, right? Both vaginal and anal, for example, with the male, and then the hermaphrodite itself, and then the male, the female, then the hermaphrodite, then the male, right? And that's the obscure sex the Gnostics are talking about. The anal part. But it's not a sin unto death. I know it ain't. But some people make it one too, right? But what it means to be gay is you're not from a gay union, though, right? There's reasons though you could do it with respect to God, right? If you are trying to help control the population, it might help for some people to be gay. But that's not going to be, everybody's going to feel that, though. Don't forget that either, right? Don't try to make someone gay. That might not work out. either. You might make me a lesbian or something, but you ain't going to make me gay for men. You ain't going to make me gay for men. You try that all you want. Even if it's other ladies who, had a good time with me, but then regretted it later on. You consented at first, honey. You all did. To be with me is to be made love, too. You don't feel like I'm trying to screw you or fuck you or do you like you don't have feelings either, do you? No. Right, because I don't. You a lady I'm trying to treat like a queen, right? Ain't that right? Ain't that right? But then you get all possessive of me. It's not about sharing, it's about caring too, right? You're also having sex with someone who's disabled and lets you be on top. Well, that's again a little different, ain't it? Well, I'm a big guy, but I wasn't always either. But I kind of got, normal genes. Anyone can get fat if you eat too much. You get skinny if you eat little. It's kind of causing the fat. But I'm also eating what I was taught to eat growing up. Maybe it's too much for me now, but, you're not... when you buy some food, right, you're going to eat the food. What's the point in buying it if you don't eat it? And that's the point, too. But Jesus said you can eat what's set before you. Yes, he did. But you get all crazy about it. Don't eat the pig, because he wallers in his mire, because you dumb farmer won't put a roof over its head, not realizing it don't have fur to cover its body and it's sunburning the damn pig during the day. No. That's what I keep telling you, Peter. Why does the sow return to its wallowing in the mire? You won't put a goddamn roof over its head. You crazy farmers. That's why. And you're making it a little mud pie. Too. To waller in. And it's got to go to the bathroom when you feed it. And pee when it drinks water. It's just like you, crazy human. Treat it like you got a brain. Would you want to be out in the goddamn sun all day with no roof over your head if you didn't have fur? No. No. Is that why you wear clothes anyway? Yeah. Yeah. Well, the pig either needs fucking clothes or a goddamn cover over its fucking bin. Excuse my French there. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It's a hairless animal. Like you. I know it is. And you're treating it like you're a dumbass. Dumbass. You're thoughtless men. I know you are. You're assholes. You don't even see what's right in front of you. Or what you're doing wrong. And it's like talking to a goddamn brick wall with you. I will get more reaction from stone, like Jesus said. And God is capable of turning the stone into children of Abraham. The problem is that you're the children of Abraham and not acting like Abraham, right? You know Abraham knows God, but do you? No. You know of God through Abraham. But you're damn sure not acting like him. No, you're not. Or maybe you are. He's human too, remember? He wasn't all perfect and la-di-da-di. No, he wasn't. He had a bunch of wives too. I know. But someone's not listening. Someone's not reading. Someone's denying their humanity. That we make mistakes with each other. We have sex with each other. And it's supposed to be consensual, not the other party at. By the way. And it's got to be legal according to the law. You can't break the law and I can't break the law. No one can. It's to protect the spouse. Oh no. Me from women taking advantage of me. Who know they're too young to be with me yet. You can't do that either, ladies. You can't cause me a Joseph and a Potiphar experience, right? And also, men, you gotta treat your ladies right so they don't want to have sex with me either because you're not good in the bedroom. You better know what you're doing. If you don't, I do. If you don't, I do. Right? And I don't mind treating your lady good. You're supposed to, yourself. So I can find my wife and you find yours, but we ain't got to worry about no hanky-panky. That's what Paul said about it too. No. When you got a lady, you got to treat her like a lady. Got to treat her like no, but you should do. You got to treat her like a lady. Oh, you know what I mean. Know what you mean. I know. Right. Now, some of you want a freak, but you the freak. You the freak. You the sexual deviant. Not her. And you also always want to try being. Missionary might be fun for you, but there's other things you can do. Hell, give your lady a nice foot massage or a back rub once in a while. Why do you think I go to the massage parlor when I fell 3 stories, right? Though I'm single, I can mingle. You're not. You're with someone. Treat her right so she don't come to me either. I don't want to worry about your wife either. Sneaking out at night because you're creeping on her. Creep. Yeah, you know you're a creep. You know you're a creep. I'm not creeping. I'm staying home alone. There's the point, man. I'm alone. Who's making love to your lady while you been out making love to another one? You open yourself up for that shit. And then you want to play, I'm perfect. My wife would never cheat on me. I fuck her so good. She come back for more. No, your wife don't cheat on you when you cheat on her, idiot. And you make her. Like she don't know what you're doing. She don't know what you're doing. She know, fool. She know, fool. And you act like I saw in the divorce court the other day, or Jerry Springer. If I don't get caught, I didn't cheat. No, you cheating. You cheat, fool. Whether you're married or single, you're supposed to seek one partner. Right? Whether you're gay or straight, too. Right? You can't even make up your mind about that. Mm-hmm. You're either homophobic or heterophobic or both. But you can't take advice. Worth a goddamn. And some God is damning you. And another God's trying to save you, but by the skin of your damn teeth. I know. Not by the hair of his chinny chin. Which again, why are you condemned for something? You think you're doing something so wrong you can't repent of it or be forgiven of it, or it can't heal? Mm-hmm. Well, then you're making it worse than it was by condemning it still. Mm-hmm. You won't let it go. That you agreed to a dumb deal with the devil in disguise. As an angel of light, even. He was so pretty. He had a butt and a vagina. He had a leaf covering some other part of his anatomy. He didn't know what that was all about. Until later. When he gave him something from behind. He didn't like it once he started in on him, though. He thought it was a good deal, too. 2 holes for the price of 1. On that, he became naked and very ashamed and knew he was naked the whole time. That must have been one hell of a sex act. Fornication and lawful carnal knowledge there. Because when he was done, he knew he was naked. And then he knew his wife again. Same day. Within a few hours later, probably. Right. Still playing dumb. Even after the angel confronted him. The good one. Or the one trying to be good with you, I know. For there's none that doeth good. No, not one. Here. You can't. No one's letting us do good to those. These all religious people, they want to kill you over your mistakes. They don't want to admit we all make them and forgive it. I wonder who's teaching them that. The bad angel. Mm-hmm. And they're so messed up about it, they don't know who's whom and play dumb that they don't know who's whom. You don't know murder is wrong over a sex act, which you could all do to each other. Even if we swap a wife and say I get her pregnant or you get her pregnant, she's with me or I'm with her, right? Say you get her pregnant first and I'm with her then. Or I get her pregnant, she's with you then. We're just wife swapping. That's all it is. But you want to kill over it. You want to murder over it. Hell. Even if I didn't get her pregnant, we're from one origin. We're from one mother and father. And even Satan is from Jesus in heaven. And God let him form his body, right? But it's still humanoid. human-like. I know. And we're able to reproduce with each other. Mm-hmm. Some of us, though some women get barren, right? That might be what Jesus dealt with the woman at the well and impregnated her. But they're not going to say it where you can understand it in your language, not Greek and definitely not Latin. I know. Let's see what they do in Latin. I bet it's woman all 3 times into Latin. But Jesus ain't Latin. I know he's not. You forget that too, don't you? I know we do. Jesus is Hebrew. He's Hebrew. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. 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 But like I said, can God change a man who don't want to change himself? No, no. If a man thinks he's right in what he's doing and then other man confronts him or tries to stop him, he's going to do it what anyway? Same with the woman. But yet, she's still the weaker vessel. I know she is. So she has to deal with your ass first, right? And get rid of you, and get rid of you. And sometimes you gotta get rid of it. Whoops. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just try to get rid of each other. Not caring, not caring. Okay. I know. I know. Mm-hmm. 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 Oops, we'll get back to you later. Mm-hmm. Hello? Mm-hmm. We run around, round, 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 get around. Some people get around. But that makes it a parody. I'm changing the words a little bit. But also singing a familiar melody. Right. Anyone can do it too. Under fair use. Under fair use. Now, if you're doing it educational-wise, you can do the original lyrics too, right? Then you're teaching them to sing the original song by the original artist, and you just say, that's the Beach Boys'. I get around. That's how you use copyright law for educational purposes. You identify the artist, the song title. That's all you gotta do, really, right? You ain't even gotta identify who wrote the song or anything more. Because they can reference that themselves, right? So it wouldn't hurt, but like I said, right? It's not legally required, right? As long as you're giving out the information, right? And doing it to teach people to sing the song correct, right? Or different, right? And you say what you're doing as part of a lesson plan, right? Well, some of you don't understand that, do you? You know, you can train a monkey, but so far. You know what I mean, right? You can teach a monkey sign language to a point, but unless you teach it a lot of signs, right, it's going to have a limited vocabulary. And sign language is a vocabulary for the deaf as well. But do you want to hear the truth? Do you want to see and understand it, right? And receive it with joy? Or are you going to resist it, right? That's your choice. It's all our choices, right? Yeah. First thing you gotta do is find a Latin dictionary so you know the word for woman in the Latin. Right. Or wife, I believe. If they're the same woman or a different woman, like in the Greek. Well, in the Greek, they have a different spelling of the word woman. And when they translated it to English, they didn't tell you that. They just used the English word for woman or wife sometimes, right? So they're interchangeable, right? The crime of adultery involves a female who's cheating on the male that's her husband and legally married to her. That's every time it's committed. Now, usually the person you're bringing the woman to is the one she committed adultery against anyway. Ain't that right? Yeah, it is. I mean, it can't be adultery if it's someone else's wife you're bringing to someone else. Why would it even involve them? It wouldn't normally. But are you just hella dumb? Or do you think Constantine, because he's a Roman emperor, exercised his judgment and played dumbass? Well, he ain't around now. No, he ain't around now. But he's still a dumbass. Don't change that. You know, it's kind of not even logical what they're saying. But why do you take someone's advice who denies it's someone's wife who's committing adultery there, period, right? And act like it's not Jesus' wife, but why else would it involve Jesus? Would you say if my neighbor's wife was cheating on him and you brought her to me, that would be my concern? No. Well, that's not the one she's cheating on me with. He ain't gonna care if it's my wife cheating on me either. You bring your him or up. Right. But if my wife's cheating on me, you're gonna usually bring her to who? You. Not somebody else. What matter to them? Why do I care if someone's wife is cheating on them? None of my business. Nothing's my own unless it's your own. Are you that naive? No, you're that fucking naive. Now, sex is what it's all about, though. In this story, so, who you having sex with and another man. While you're married to the man you're committing adultery with. And in the law of Moses, you stone such a woman. Right. 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 And they say you chose them both of them. In Moses' law. I die for you. I die for you. Say Bon Jovi. You know it's true. Baby, I die for you. So, I'm looking for a woman or a wife. This is how to read Latin, but probably has definitions, right? Two. Well, I gotta find my Latin dictionary then. I'm sure I got one. Alright. After you. Alright. And why ask me about divorce as well if you bring my wife caught to me in the act of adultery and want me to stone her? Right. Right. Certainly. And I say for the cause of fornication. You know I divorced her. You know I divorced her. You made her cheat on me, you know. But I don't want to murder her over you setting her up with another man. That's what I'm saying. I know. Or she meets another man before she was with you, Scott. And I'm prepared to handle it if he's mine or yours, right? Are you? Where's Maribel? Or is she the one acting all kind of hella crazy, right? Someone's acting all kind of hella crazy about it. And I can understand it either way. Either way. No matter who's acting hella crazy. But you're acting hella crazy. About the natural sex. You act like you own somebody, though, just because they get you pregnant? No. Right now, we're just reproducing and reproducing with each other. And not being exactly faithful. Either. But like I said, Isis autumn parasit in montem oliviti et dilulo iterum venit in templum, excuse my accent, et omnis populus venit ad eum et sedens dacibat eos adducant autem scribe et Pharisai mulier in adulterio. And I bet mulierum is woman, or wife. The prehensum et saturant iam in medio et dixerunt magister haec mulier modo, and mulier is probably woman. The prehensa est in adulterio in lege autem Moses mandavit nobis huius modi lapidare tu ergo quid dicis huic haec autem disabant temptes iam ut postent accusare cum Isus etiam inclinas se diorsum dicito scrib pat in terra cum altum perseveranit interioro gantis iam exit se et dixit iis cui sine peccato est vestrum primus in ilium lap idem mitat et iterum se in sinas nans it's N-A-N-S scribat in terra adi ientes autumn Urius post unum ex bont in si pientes et senioribus et remansit solus et mulier in medio stands. And I think mulier is the other woman, right? So even in the Latin, though, they have mulierum, and then mulier and mulier, right? Kind of like what? One's more formal wife, right? And one's more woman, right? Now, what am I trying to teach, though, here? Forgiveness of your mistakes, right? Why? Because we all do it. So you're satisfied, whatever it is. We do it, we do it to be satisfied. Come on, do it, Jack. Mm-hmm. True. True. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Christi autumn generatio sic erit cum esset desponsata mater Eias Maria Seth enti quam convenerit inventa est in utero habens de spiritu sancto e osif etum vir eus cum esset eus tus et nolet liet eum trandoducre voluit occulte dim itere eum haec ultim eo cogitante ac angelus domini in sumnis apera ruit ei descens e Joseph filii David noli timere acipere Miriam connugium tam quod inum in et natum et the spiritu sancto est peret ultium filum et vocibus non no min ies isum ipsi inem salvum faciet populum suum e placatis eorum hoc autumn tutum factum est. A Adam Playriter id quod dietum est a domino per prophetum decidentem esse Virgo in utero habebit et pariet filium et vocabunt numen ius Emmanuel quod est interpretatum nobiscum Deus, that's God. Ex surgens autumn Iosif a somno vicit sicut par a cipit ea angelus domini et acipit con eum agem saltem et non cognoscibat eum donic perperit filum soum primogenitum genitum et vocavit nomen Ian Eus Esum. And even in the Latin, they are using a different ending, like in the Greek, for Jesus' name, and things like that. Maria Matre, yes. Night room. Right. Now, again, they're talking about Moses' law of adultery. And that's usually you stone both, right? But that's why I try to learn if I make a minor mistake or someone's trying to trick me and doing something wrong, even if I make a minor mistake or a major one, I try to pay attention to what I'm doing so I make fewer mistakes the next time. Now, if I'm looking for a woman of age, right, and the age of consent, though in Georgia is 16, that means 16 years old girls or young ladies can have sex with me even before the age of 18. And even though I'm 51, your law don't cover it. Like that's a crime for me either. Because it's also called the age of consent for anyone 16 and older, right? If you're 16 and older in Georgia, that means you can sleep with a male who's unmarried if you're unmarried, right? Now, in that day, they had betrothals, right? Where they would arrange a marriage. We don't have that in America anymore, right? So you can't apply that to modern dating, right? See, back in the 70s, we had what's called free love. Whoever you wanted to have sex with, sometimes male or female, you had sex with, I know. As long as it was what? The person said yes and not no, right? Another thing is you can't be with a person who's intoxicated, who says they don't want sex, right? And they got to inform you before you have sex with them too, Sheena. They can't just let you pull down their panties, right? And not say they don't want sex beforehand, right? Or they could have sex with you if you put on the biddies. You could also put on your shorts and have sex with her if you don't say she's waiting for marriage either. You don't know that until after the moment and you start talking about pregnancy in your letters to her. And getting her pregnant. Honey, if you're that out of it, that heat of the moment, and you didn't say nothing, I'm not a mind reader of what's going on in your church. You think we're all the same? We're not. We're not. Some are the synagogue of Satan, honey. They're teaching their children fornication, right? That's what you want to call it, if that's what you want to call it. And yes, I may have fornicated with you before we got legally married, but that's all I can admit to. You didn't tell me you did not want premarital sex, right? And that your church did not believe in it. I didn't know. I don't know what your church believes in. See, that's why I'm saying to you, my Bible study is what my pastor said. But that's his cover. The man says a lot of things in his Bible studies. But what he's doing in his church would be considered wrong to some people, right? But I don't know your church beliefs or your position on marriage, right? And don't assume all churches teach it exactly the same. They don't. They don't. See, there's the prodigal son version of that, right? See, you were acting like a prodigal daughter because your dad did something inappropriate with you. And I was the prodigal son because my pastor was trying to do something inappropriate with me. And it's the pastor of my church, who's wanting to do something with me. And he was trying to make me one of his little units. When I asked about that, what that had to do with, they told me something odd. They told me it also involved two grown men touching each other down there, right? Until they finished, which is called ejaculation, right? On each other's hand or something, I guess, right? And that they could do that if they chose to be part of that program, right? But not have sex with women. Something I didn't fuck with that. I did. It's all it means too, right? I didn't quite mesh with me, right? Not judging them. I'm not saying, it was right or wrong per se, but it's not my cup of tea, right? That's all I can say. I'm not trying to say it's right or wrong, but we are in the Navy. Certain things are frowned upon. In other words, you're not supposed to do it anyway. And that's looking a little like you're close to doing something wrong. You might not to do. Right. Now, Paul went into Arabia for 3 years and studied the Torah and the prophets, because that's all they had. Until he started writing letters to his converts throughout Asia. There was no New Testament initially until they started writing to the churches, right? Anyway. Well, some people forget that and have lost the teaching of the old. Now, mhm, 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 mhm. Some of the laws don't always involve stoning, right? But some of them do, right? Mhm, mhm, mhm. Now, mhm, Qui sopra ux orum filium dux erit matrum ius givus operatus est vivus ar debit cum ius ne permanebit tentium ne fas in medio vestri. And if a man take a wife and her mother, it is wickedness, they shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there is no wickedness among you. That's what I was supposed to say. Okay, here it is in verse 10, I think, right? Si me mo chatus quus fui rit cum yuxor alterius et adulterium per petrit cum uge, proximi, sui, morte, morantium, et moches, et adulterae. Mm-hmm. Or adultera, cui dormierit cum novaraca sua et leverit ignominium patris sui morte morienum en term ambo sanguis eorum sit super eos. Sicuus dormi erit cum nuru sua uterque morienter cuia las operandi sunt sanguis corum sit super eos. But like I'm telling you, and the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress, both of them, shall surely be put to death. And usually that's by stoning, right? Now, in verse 17 it says, if a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, and see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a wicked thing, and they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He hath uncovered his sister's nakedness, he shall bear his iniquity. But here it don't talk about stoning them, right? Either. Well, like I said, do I want a woman pregnant by another man? Who would want that? Who would want that? But like I said, if a woman has a problem with the man and she already has a child or something like that, mm-hmm, you can't do nothing about that either. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was Leviticus. Mm-hmm. All right. Numbers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now go to Deuteronomy 22. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Verse